When we left off, the battle continued. The leaders of the Free Breen army dispatched the blue-haired Quaggoths climbing on the walls of the cave and then explored further down the depths. They discovered at least some of what the light wells of the Underdark are made for, but then an invisible enemy flew up the mine and created a dark sphere around Jonas, and in that instant, Abel, under the effects of Dominate Monster from Brink, nearly killed Filnyr with a glowing holy weapon. Filnyr dispatched Brink's drow priestess quickly, but this launched a several-round Revivify counterspell chain loop between Abel and Jonas. It was the perfect utility spell, Fireball, of all things, flung from Jonas, which finally ended it all, killing the priestess, damaging Abel, and ripping him from Brink's control. And now they stand at the ready, an approaching Durgar army led by an alhoon undead Illithid, who seems to be able to cast at them from extreme distance. And now Abel is shaken to his core. Jonas's resources are depleted, and Filnyr with his packed bow is ready to snipe and kill as he's surrounded by the cloudy darkness of Moyle. Fellas, are you ready for the Dungeon Dads podcast?
Yeah, baby.
Yes, baby. Woof.
Heroes rise, heroes fall. I see them on the front line, standing tall. They're risking life and limb to answer the call. But what they fighting for? Don't know, don't care. Just along for the ride, but everyone must stand. I'ma make sure I'm gonna win inside.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. As always, I am your DM, Tom Blaylock, and I am joined on this very late Saturday night by John Watson playing the wizard Ionus Felipe, man of the fireball, man of no more third-level slots. What's
Fireball,
up, John?
ultimate utility spell, Fireball. Yeah, man, you got me on that one. I've still got some moxie, but resources.
You got a little firepower left. You got some bullets left in the old clip here. Tim Carr playing the warlock, Filnyr Omajira. Tim, you survived. I am so surprised you survived, but I'm so happy.
I nearly did not, but I gotta say, I'm very happy with my Shadow of Moyle usage.
Shadow of Moyle for the win.
Failed on the first round, and this time I think I nailed it.
I think you totally nailed it. It's so great, so great. And you said 4 rounds left on it.
I think we've had 6 rounds of combat. That seems about right.
Yep, that sounds right. All right, and Sam Frake playing the now clear-minded Abel Snowflower, rock brother of Tempest.
I'm gonna kill this man.
Oh my God!
After what he done to me.
Yeah, you know what? This is still a tough fight. You guys are. I think you're out of the big. I have my money on you all, but you're not. You're not completely out of the woods yet. So. Just to give you a little sense to set the scene one more time, just remember that this mine has a decline of about 1 to 4. So for every foot that it goes down, it goes 4 feet in the western direction. And it's about 18, 22 feet wide with the 2 tracks that go up, and then sort of difficult ground between them. Between the tracks, so if you walk down the middle, it's a little difficult for you to traverse it. Every so often there are these light wells, and now Filnyr has reached his hand in there, and he's seen that he can see through them. He can create light that comes down that could potentially hurt things that are sensitive to light, and you have this sort of approaching these machines that are down at the bottom that have these conical ends that look like they're made for digging, and they're making an awful hum, like a droning sort of as they come up. Brink is clearly an illithid, and he is behind him, and he is now so upset that his priestess is gone and his control over the priest is also gone. In terms of distance, we have at the very back, we've got Abel and Filnyr, who are about 400 feet away from the line of Durgers. Another 20 feet is the alhoon on his way up toward you. So Filnyr and Abel are about 420 feet. Jonas and Felipe Madamba are down the hill slightly, down the ramp slightly, about another 60 feet. So they are only 340 feet away from the Durgers and 360 feet away from Brink. Don't forget, you've got a pile of bodies back behind you. And you have
bodies,
and you have a little bit up from that. So another 200 feet up from that, you've got a small army of skeletons that are just sitting around in one of those tunnels. So there are potential dangers all around you, but you now, for the first time, have a fairly clear view of Brink, who has stolen this mine from Dagmoon the Durger. When we left off, we were back at the top of the initiative order. So, you guys have any questions before we get back into it?
You say that it's an army of Durgers or a line of Durgers.
It's five. It's five, but like think of these as like tanks. These are like little tanks coming up the hill at you.
Okay.
So, I mean, without giving too much away for them, I don't think any of you have ever seen these things before. You know, they look like subway tunnelers, but when you saw them on at the first time, you could tell that they were not even touching the wall, and it was causing the stone to just disintegrate in front of them. So no telling what the range is on this, but these things don't have to spin into you in order to hurt you.
Got it.
And there are 5 of them.
Okay.
Anything else?
1 cart, 2 carts? Is it one giant cart spread on the tracks, or 2 carts in a line?
So you don't see a cart. I mean, you see a cart, but the cart is beyond Brink and his.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And his Durgers.
I thought those things were coming too. All right, remembering wrong. It's all good.
Yeah. And remember, it goes down. It's about 200 feet down, and then there's landings that go about 100 feet of landing, and then it goes down again. So it's not just a straight slope. They have these like little flat areas that have. Most of them have tunnels off of them.
Okay. Well, if it's my turn, unless anybody has anything else.
Nope.
I think from my shadow of Moyle, from my state of obscurity, I am going to just launch another arrow at Brink.
Okay.
I don't remember if he's concentrating on anything, but that's okay.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
And it's far enough away that you have disadvantage, but you're obscured, so it gets rid of the disadvantage. Yeah. So you're a straight roll on this.
Straight roll. Here we go. 19.
I am almost positive that hits. That
that seems right, because I think I hit with lower last session.
That is a hit.
That is 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then arrow numero dos. 17.
That is also a hit.
6 piercing damage. Roll a natural 1 on that, or a 1 on that damage roll. Unfortunately.
So you hit him twice, and you can see that he is like super surprised. He has not seen a shadowy like cloud of darkness send like non-magical arrows out at him before, and he looks and he raises a finger up, and you hear him go, and it doesn't sound like it's coming from down the hill. And then he reaches his hand out to the side, and you see that there's a panel that's next to him, and the panel drops down, and he puts his hand on the panel, and you can see that he is doing something. And as he does it, a light comes on from the light well that's up the ways a little bit, the one that you were playing with.
Yep.
And the light comes on and shines on you all, and you hear his voice echoing from the light well.
Okay. I still have some movement, so I'm going to make my way down toward Ionus. And, as a reminder, Shadow of Moyle is heavily obscured, not just darkness. It's literally as if there's like a physical barrier in terms of whether you can see or not. So
you're saying his devil's sight's not going to work?
True sight works, I think, but yes, devil's sight will not.
Okay.
And that will be my turn.
All right. And we're to Abel. This light has come on, and you've heard this like slurping speech coming from the light well. It's behind you about 60 feet.
Abel reaches his closed fist above his head and says, "Tempest be with me," and slams his rock hand down on the ground and travels into the rock.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
And
Worst
can travel
homebrew gift I've ever given
to
any fucking asshole
any
in the
rock
world.
that he can see, correct?
Any rock that he can see within
And
500
so
feet.
I appear immediately behind Brink.
You son of a bitch. Oh my God.
Now, what I couldn't remember is that an action or a bonus action?
I think this is an action.
Okay.
I think it's an action.
Then with my bonus action, I reach my glowing spear above my head and I say, "Eat light, you son of a bitch!" And I release Holy Weapon and detonate it for 48 and a con saving throw to avoid being
Yes.
blinded.
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
What's the range
for
on that?
everyone within 30 feet.
So that's the Durgers too.
Holy shit.
Well, at least the ones that are, close to him.
So that's 25 damage.
Nice.
Wow.
Holy shit. Okay.
And it's a DC 16 con saving throw.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. This is some bullshit right here. It's fine. It's fine.
Did we have a little too much time to prepare for this?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Brink's Constitution saving throw is a 19.
Oh.
Damn.
So now he takes half of that. Is
he
that
takes
correct?
half, so he still takes 12 and he is not blinded.
And what kind of damage is it? I'm asking for a friend.
Radiant?
It's radiant. Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay.
before.
Never mind then. All right. So he is going to take 12 damage. Look, you guys have really fucked him up. I mean, like, he's fine, but he's taking a lot more damage at this like early moment here than
This
anything
early
else.
moment.
Than expected. Okay, so here's a question for you, Sam.
Mhm.
So your hand is gone, and it's your shield
Mhm.
hand.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming you do not have your shield in your hand now because you don't have it. So did
I
you
thought
leave
I
the
could
shield
keep it-
up?
I thought I could keep it strapped to my arm.
Okay,
I'm
it's
not
strapped
holding
on your
the
arm.
shield in my hand.
It's
But
strapped on your arm.
I will stipulate that until I reform my hand, I cannot use my shield effectively.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to use your shield bash or or probably even get your +1 or +2 AC on it either.
Okay.
All right.
Nah, that's. I got it.
Okay.
I was expecting it. Are any of the Durgars within 30 feet?
Oh yeah, I got to roll for all of them. They're all within 30 feet.
Yeah.
If you pop up right behind them, then they are only 20 feet away. Okay. Oh man, this is okay. Well, look, this is why we have a game. This is why we roll.
This is why we roll.
Okay. All right. The first screamer here is going to fail it. That's an 11.
Fail.
The second one, the 10. That's going to fail.
Fail.
The third one, wow, 11. That's a fail.
Fail.
Oh my god. And the last one is an 8, and it also. Oh, it was actually, we have one more. I bet money on this one. This one's going to pass.
He does. 17.
He does. Okay. So now here's the thing.
Mhm.
They take 25 damage and they are blinded.
Correct.
Yeah.
For 1
that's-
minute.
So that is definitely
Just long enough.
that's definitely going to work on them. So they are in fact blinded because their little thing they have here says unless they are blinded or otherwise without sight. So you son of a bitch. Okay. All right. And 25 damage each is pretty serious.
I'm a pretty serious guy.
You have no idea how perfect that move was. But that's how it goes. All right. I'm going to keep this one separate. And this other one just takes 12.
Yep. And not blind. So you got one who's not blind.
And Brink's not blind. I really wanted him to be blind so he
Oh,
can
of course. That's a
send
really
them
big deal.
spells.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Because true sight doesn't protect him from blindness.
Oh, really? I didn't know
It doesn't?
I need to look it up, but I don't think so. I think you can make him blind. Would you look it up while I finish this thing?
I
here?
actually have true seeing, so I will look. The spell gives the willing creature you touch the ability. For the duration, the creature has true sight. Notices it just says has true sight. So I guess I got to look up true sight.
I'm looking
I
up
only
true
had
sight right now.
I only had true seeing.
Bum. It doesn't say anything about being blind.
A creature with true sight can, out to a specific range, see in normal and magical darkness, see invisible creatures and objects, automatically detect visual illusions, and succeed on saving throws against them, and perceives the original form of a shape changer or creature that is transformed by magic.
I see something here that says, yes, you can blind something with true sight.
Mhm.
The only thing true sight does in this case is magnify the ability that was lost to blindness.
Mm-hmm.
True sight enhances one's ability to see through magical darkness, invisibility, illusions, shape changes, and into the ethereal.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how I would have normally
Adjudicated.
adjudicated it. Although it is weird that true sight is such a high level spell and that deafness is such a low level spell, and you can
Right.
still get them with it. But that's cool. Okay. Wow, that was pretty great. So
And now Brink is going to murder me.
so now, yeah. So Brink has a big choice to make. Because you are obviously a serious threat to him now with that massive move.
Yeah, I'm going to stick this spear up his ass.
So
You were in my mind. Now I'm going to put this in your mind. Through your ass.
okay. So Brink, you really fucked me up here, Sam. Okay. Brink is going to turn to look at you. And he is one of his tentacles enters into his mouth. And
Dope.
he, and it starts to shake, and you hear what's clearly an incantation, and he raises up his finger at you, and he rubs his hands together, and you see that dust falls to the ground, and he points at you. And I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity saving throw. God damn it. I've been waiting so long for a spell that targets only me that has a dexterity saving throw. So
Now
I can use Shield Master. I can add my AC bonus to my
You can add your
saving
AC
throw?
bonus. You can add your AC bonus. You just cannot add it to your AC when you are fighting something.
Okay.
But I will let you use your shield
To interpose between myself and this magic.
Yes, I will let you do that.
Okay. So it's going to be this roll plus 2. 14. Something tells
Okay.
me that's not going to get it done.
So as he reaches up and points, a thin green ray of light hits you right in the chest.
Mm.
And there's this moment that like you almost feel like you missed it. Like it didn't do anything. And then you feel your body just sort of like, you feel like your body is trying to fall apart. And you are going to, remember how I said I had to buy a bunch of new D10s? This is going to be really bad.
Fuck. I'm too far out of range.
Ooh.
You are going to take 97 damage.
Mm. Well, here's the good news.
Okay.
Even if I had saved, the outcome would be the same.
Okay.
So I don't feel bad about saving. I go down, but it is not enough.
No.
Or is it a disintegrate? Okay.
Abel. Everything inside the armor falls apart.
Oof.
Dust falls to the ground.
Fuck.
You feel this moment of clarity. And you open your eyes. And there's a tall orc in front of you. And he says,
Son, no. No.
But did you see me, Tempest? Was it not glorious?
Jonas, Filnyr, Abel is gone.
Jesus.
Like just his armor's left there, or like
His armor is left there.
there's no body.
There's no body.
It's just dust. And Jonah sees this and just goes, no, 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 no!
Abel, what have you done?
Felipe runs down as fast as his little legs can carry him. And he calls back and he says, "We can still save him. He's just been shrunk."
What?
Jonas, it's you.
Okay. Son of a bitch. Perfect time not to have the stupid dimension door. All right. I see this happen. and I move into expeditious retreat. And that should get me 120 feet closer.
Yep. And these machines are rolling up toward you. And Filnyr, you hear something rattling from the light in the light well. And it's the voice of Abel. Sam, what do you say?
Well, this is weird. It's a light everywhere.
No. Abel, that can't be right.
Filnyr, is that you?
Abel,
Don't let me distract you. Kill that son of a bitch.
Is it my? I'm
It's your
I'm
turn.
not talking. It's my turn.
It's your turn now. Yep.
I think I would scream at Ionus. You can't make the same mistake. We have to kill him first. Quickly. And I will fire off another arrow. Well, I'll close more distance first. That'll be another 30 feet. So I'm like 360 feet. I'm like doing the math in my head because I can cast Far Step, but then it's like 30 feet plus bonus action. I can go 90 feet a turn. It's still 4 turns, and then I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So, and seeing that there's no body and hearing this, I think Filnyr would resolve himself to, make progress as fast as he can, but, shoot with a fucking vengeance.
Yep.
So here goes that. 27, which is a 19. Oh, 18, excuse me.
All right. That's going to hit.
Yeah. All right. That's 8 piercing damage. Let's see, how many spell slots do I have? Fuck. Okay, and I'm going to shoot again. 22.
That's a hit.
10 more damage.
So the alhoon is just reeling. You see now that like bits of his tentacles have been ripped off when the radiant light hit him. And you can see it's these like it's almost like they're bits of dried fruit or something. They're not moving the way that they should. And Abel, you are inside the rock, and Tempest looks at you and says,
How much do you want to help your friends now? Dead priest.
As much as I've ever wanted anything. As much as I ever wanted you gone.
Swear yourself to me. Reaffirm your dedication to me. And I can send you back for but a minute. There is no body for me to send you back into. So I will have to make do with what I have at hand.
If you give me a minute, I'll make it the greatest minute you've ever seen.
and he holds his hand up, and you see in his hand appears a great sword, and it begins to glow with a white, hot light. And he swings it with both hands down upon your skull, and it splits you in half. and a ray of light shoots out from the rock. And Filnyr, you and Jonas and Felipe see that the light wells all turn on, all up and down this long mine shaft. And they all turn, even the ones that are too far away, they turn their light and they are back exactly where the alhoon is. And you see the rock around the alhoon start to break apart and shatter, and little pebbles come together, and you see it's forming a man. And you see that Abel's spear is on the ground next to his backpack, and the spear and the shield shoot up into the light and begin to stand there levitating. And this rock man reaches out and grabs the spear and puts his hand, fully formed rock hand, into the shield. And you hear the scream of Abel Rock Brother as his beard reforms, and you see his skin and his mouth and his whole body is rock armor. And Abel, it is your turn. You have all your spell slots. You have everything you had before. And the alhoon turns around at you and says,
I say, don't you understand? You can't kill me, beast. I'm beloved of the mountain. And I turn and I look at Jonas and Filnyr. I am beloved. And I cast Sunbeam.
Ooh.
all right. What does Sunbeam do?
A beam of brilliant light flashes out from your hand in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Each creature in the line must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 6d8 radiant damage and is blinded until your next turn.
All right. I'm a little emotional.
Yeah. I think all of us are.
Do it.
Oh, it's a terrible roll. 18 damage. DC 16 saving throw.
Okay.
Come on, dice. Don't you understand emotions?
And so you're aiming this, and it's going to hit Brink, and you can probably get 2 of them. I will give you a D20 roll, and if you roll 15 or higher on it, you can get 3 of them in it.
10.
Okay, so you can get 2 of them in it. Okay. Constitution, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is Brink's Constitution saving throw. Oh, I got a natural 1.
At least one die understands drama.
Okay, so he's going to take 18, and he is now blinded. Okay. And he recoils back, and even more of his tentacles start to like peel off as the dry sunlight bakes him. And the two Durgar screamers that you have caught in this thing just pop and explode and are no more. You are faced with 3 Durgar screamers. Only one of them can see. And it's Brink's turn. And he turns to you and he reaches his finger out. Let me make sure he has this still. Yeah. He points his finger at you, and the green ray again shines at you.
He doesn't have to be able to see me. What's the target on that?
Target you can see.
Nice.
Fuck you, Brink.
Okay. So you're right. Can he do this?
He's blind.
Yes, he can. Okay. Oh my God. Blind is terrible. Okay. Brink puts his hands up and he puts one of his last 3 tentacles that he has remaining on his head. It goes down into his throat and it begins to rattle another incantation and he disappears and he is invisible. But you still hear where he is as he sort of moves around, but he is not disengaging. His hand is on the contraption inside the panel, and you can tell that he's moving it, and the lights from Tempest are not changing the direction of the light wells. The lights remain on you and nothing else because he's invisible now. Okay. Felipe continues sprinting down the hill, and he's a little bit closer now. Jonas.
Okay. I'm guessing I'm 220 feet now away from
220 feet.
So if I go 80, then that's going to
Puts you to 140.
put me at 140 from those guys. They're 30 feet from Brink
20 feet.
and Abel.
20 feet.
20 feet. 20 feet. So Saber's going to echolocate as I see him vanish. I'm going to have a freak out moment. Saber's going to echolocate. Fuck, he can't do it. Let's see. So I see him vanish, but it was just as I was going to toss a fireball. And I launch a level 4 fireball at Abel and protect Abel from it.
Okay. Give me that roll.
So that should be 9d6. And I have no idea what's going on. I see that Abel was disintegrated and then he's back. So I've got tears streaming down my face, but maybe there's hope. So that's going to be 39 damage, DC 16 dex save.
Okay. This makes a big difference. Dex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brink gets a 19.
This thing.
So he saves. But all 3 of the remaining Durgar Screamers disappear in this ball of fire that sort of cooks them down into nothing, and they are continuing to make a buzzing sound. And then as the 3 Durgar Screamers are like burning up, you see that the Durgars who are like trapped inside these mechanisms fall out dead.
So then I can also still move 30 more feet.
You can move 30 more feet because you have your bonus action. You have actually a movement to 60 feet, right? No, you already used some of it.
It's actually 40 feet that I can do. I'm just going to move. I'm going to move another 20 feet.
Okay. All right. And the Durgar Screamers are gone, and it is Filnyr. Abel reappears in the light. He shoots a long, ray of sunlight. He destroys many of these things. Brink disappears, and Abel remains down there, down the hill.
Brink also gets a concentration check.
Oh, for the invisibility. You're right.
Mhm.
13.
But it's got to equal half the damage that he took.
Yes.
But it's half the damage that he
Oh.
took though, and he already took
Right.
half. Shit.
So
Thought I had it.
no,
all right.
but half. Oh, because he took.
He took
Because
half
he only
already.
he took half of that, and then half of
He
that
took
is not.
what?
Yeah.
18.
18 damage.
So
it's
yeah,
still a
it's
DC
still
10.
just a DC
Yeah.
10. Yeah,
That's okay.
he would have failed.
I'll get him. Just watch. Because my advantage is already negated, so it's still a straight roll.
Yep.
Because he's blind, invisible or not.
Yep.
So Filnyr,
Put those arrows where you think he is.
exactly, now
Yeah.
screaming.
Yep.
15,
Hits.
7 piercing.
Okay. All right.
Come on, dice. I need a 20.
All right. Give it a roll.
Wait, does he do it? Does he become? I guess it doesn't matter if he becomes visible.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let me do
I mean, it doesn't. It like it's.
it mechanically it doesn't matter, but it still
But
matters.
it does. Yeah,
It
does
still
matter.
matters for a number of reasons, right?
Yeah. Okay. So he's
19. He's okay. He's still on.
still invisible. All right. And I shoot again. Same spot. 23.
23 hits.
7 more damage.
Okay. Oh, he's really messed up.
Um,
He's really messed up, guys. And here is his Constitution save. 26. He's still got it.
This guy.
Okay.
So I'm now what? It's 330 feet. Yeah, I'm not going to make much progress if I'm shooting, but I feel like I have to shoot. I've got one more round of Moyle.
Well, as you hit him, another tentacle enters his little mouth, and he begins to.
We can't see it, but sure.
You can't see it, but he starts to do another incantation. Abel, you hear it, or something. It's not really an incantation. It's sort of different, and you hear clicking and clacking in several of the tunnels that are between you and Jonas. And Jonas, you are now almost equal with one of these openings, and you see skeletons begin to make their way out. And Abel, from behind you, you see a small army of skeleti, maybe 15 or 20,
Skeleton.
begin to run toward you. I mean, and Abel, it is your turn.
So how far away am I from where I think Brink is?
Oh, 10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is at the panel. You know, he is there. He is fooling with this thing, and he is frustrated.
And the arrows are now sticking out of him.
Arrows are sticking out of him. Yeah.
And how far are the skeletons behind me?
40 feet, but you do see them coming out toward Jonas, and then even behind Jonas, you see Filnyr. The light is kind of on. You can see in the shadows. Your rock form has almost perfect night vision, dark vision, and you can see that they are streaming out of that tunnel up top.
So I am going to run to the other side of Brink and sunbeam again back towards the skeletons.
Oh, that's
I
so
have
nice.
concentration for a minute, and for that minute, every turn I can do a new sunbeam.
Okay.
So 6d8, 27 that time. That's a little better.
Okay.
And
It's a Constitution saving throw.
it is a Constitution saving throw,
10.
which he fails.
Wow.
Sam, what does it look like when you eviscerate Brink with your sunbeam?
I just put my hand out. Tempest, bring a light into this dark place. And a 5-foot wide, 60-foot beam of pure sunlight shoots down the mine, and everything within its path disintegrates.
And you get all of those skeletons. And they all disintegrate with your sunbeam. And there are still skeletons streaming out of these tunnels. Brink is done. Felipe Madamba is running toward you down the hill, and he stops to fight some skeletons that have come out of the tunnel that's like between Jonas and you. And he is engaged with them, and he clacks one of them and falls apart into bones in the ground. And he says, "There are so many coming. There are so many coming.
And
Abel, you're back to your normal size. Come help me."
I use the rest of my movement to run towards Jonas.
Okay. And John, it's you, Jonas.
Okay, skeletons. How far away is Felipe from me?
Felipe is 50 feet ahead of you.
He's ahead of me.
Yeah, he's sprinting down, and he has. Oh, you have expeditious retreat. He's about 20 feet behind you. I got the location slightly mixed up.
Okay,
sorry. He's about 20 feet behind you.
And you said between me and Abel is a row of skeletons, or
there are a row of skeletons coming out.
I can run to Abel though.
You can't get to Abel all the way. You'd have to go around some of these skeletons.
And what about Felipe?
Felipe he's behind you because you have expeditious retreat and long strider on. So he's about 20 feet behind you.
But is there a wall of skeletons blocking him as well?
No, he is now engaged with skeletons as they stream out of one of these holes, and he is actively fighting them.
Okay. Shit. Abel's running to me, and I say, I don't know what's happened. Can you rock stride back to Filnyr? And
You're
then
talking to Abel.
Abel.
Yeah, I look at my hands. I say, "Who knows what I can do now?"
And I turn and
Jonas, you have to save yourself.
I
have to get out of this mine.
But and I see the finality in his face. I turn around, I grab Felipe by the arm, and I do a 4th level thunder step.
Oh, cool.
And we go 90 feet back towards Filnyr.
Roll your damage, and I can tell you that, well, roll your damage.
Okay, so this should be 4d10 thunder damage. Let's see. I'm shaking. Can't do anything.
If you get 20 damage on this, you're going to kill everything in range of this thing, regardless of if they save or not.
4d10 thunder damage with Felipe Madamba. Now! 26.
Everything in range, which is probably 15 or 20 skeletons, just break apart. And you go up 100 feet, and you're up with Filnyr, right?
So I was redoing my math. I forgot about Longstrider. So I was about 320 feet from Brink.
Okay. So
it's close.
Close. He's probably like 60 feet. Is that math correct? So you can do another 100 feet, right, John? Because Filnyr kept moving down.
It's 90 feet for the
90 feet.
thunder step.
So I think you're at like 70 feet away from Filnyr then. Is that right?
So if I turned around, I went 20 feet, grabbed Felipe, thunder stepped 90 feet, and then we can do another another 20 feet. Well, and then I could do more with the expeditious retreat on.
And you can carry Felipe.
Okay, so with Felipe, it's going to be another 60 feet to Filnyr.
Okay. So 60 feet to Filnyr.
Mhm.
All right.
So that would have been the ground we covered was 150 feet.
Wow, that's a lot of ground. Okay. All right, Filnyr. So now you have Abel down at the bottom. A steady stream of skeletons are coming out of these tunnels. You know that they're not limitless, but they are still coming out from several of these tunnels here. And Jonas is almost up with you, and Abel is saying, "Get out."
So Filnyr has a potion of Revivify, but he's so far away that it's hard to know if that's something that could be used. So
I'm a rock.
I've seen worse. So I have two ideas. And the first one is he's going to get closer to Jonas. And as he's getting closer to Jonas, he's going to talk to Kegaset. Kegaset, I've seen you work magic before. And our friend has... I think his life is lost. And I don't want it to be.
Do you not see him there in front of you now? He yet walks.
But that is not him. That is not true. Truly him. His armor lays on the floor. I can't... Is there anything you can do? Certainly there must be. I have seen you raise dozens.
I don't know. I've only ever done it with bodies. I've never done it with a stone before.
We have to try. And I guess I'll dash toward Jonas to just close the distance.
Okay. And you get to him.
But I don't have an action now.
You don't have an action now.
I'll have time to say something to Ionus.
Yeah.
Ionus, I have this potion, and I have Kegaset. I have my staff. Certainly there's something.
I do not know. I have a potion too. Abel was down there. He said get out. I'm hoping he could rock stride back up to us and we can figure it out. But we have to leave, Filnyr.
Abel, if you can come to us now. And that'll be my turn.
All right. Felipe is struggling with you. Wizard, put me down now.
I'd drop him.
Okay.
Fine, I don't care about you anyway.
And Felipe, let's see.
Stay here, Felipe. I can get us out.
Felipe takes all of his remaining daggers and tosses them in the air. And as he tosses them, they spread out into this sort of massive cloud of flying daggers. And he has his hands up, and it's almost like he's holding them all in his hand as there are this cloud of daggers over his head. And then he throws his arms forward as though he's throwing like 1,000 little daggers in the air. And you see that they all speed at the skeletons that are up above you, heading down toward you. And let me do the damage on this. And let's see. This is going to be... He's upcast this one more D8. And in this cone coming out from him, where these things are coming, it like spreads out and filling like 60 or 70 feet up. It just eviscerates another wave of skeletons with this barrage of daggers that he has thrown. And he says, "They're just little minor bones. We can take them all down if we need to. Remember the mission. Take the mine, build up the town, win the valley." And that's his turn. And Jonas, it's you.
Wait, I don't get a turn?
You're last. You're after.
No, he's
Oh,
before
okay.
me.
Oh shit! Sorry, Abel. Yes, sorry.
Well, I
it's
could be
you.
last now. I don't know.
No, it's
Okay.
you. It's you.
So are more skeletons sort of milling in the center, or are more coming out of the tunnels? Like if I was going for the biggest mass of skeletons right
So
now.
the biggest mass of skeletons are right now. They are between you and Jonas,
Mm-hmm.
and that group seems to continue to pour out of these things. Now, all of these skeletons are only carrying miner's picks. So these are not martial skeletons, and you have seen. I mean, they haven't gotten to any of you yet, but there's enough of them to cause some really nasty damage. But they're still just miner's picks. You don't see any with short bows or anything like that.
I'm going to run into the thick of the crowd. Say, Tempest, send these poor souls back to their rest. And I cast Turn Undead, which, as a level 11 cleric, becomes Destroy Undead for anything CR2 or lower. So it's
All of these are how big is the
it's a DC 16 Wisdom save, everything in a 30-foot radius.
Okay. So you've moved into about 60 skeletons, but as Abel runs up toward these skeletons, the Lightwell lights all continue to stay on him as though they're like spotlights on a stage. And a few of them don't keep up with him completely, and you see that his arm sort of starts to fall apart where there isn't this light on it. And then the light catches back up to him and it reforms his arm. And you get there, and let me do this roll. All of these are plus. Note they're all minus 1 on this. So and they take half damage if they just turned.
Yeah, it's only if it fails, it's turned for a minute, or if it's less than CR2, it's destroyed.
Okay. All right. Okay. 1, 2. So
they
it's
have
this
minus
like,
1 wisdom.
This minus 1 wisdom. So, and it DC 17, you said?
16. Yeah.
16. Okay. So it's this like Abel runs up, the lights stay on him, and he, what do you say when you turn these guys?
Sleep now, my friends. Sleep.
And all but 4 of these almost 50 skeletons that are around him just explode into small bone parts. And there are 4 left clicking, moving toward Abel, and they are going to attack you, Abel. What is your armor class?
Well, when the first one gets close to me, I'm going to put a spear in his face.
Okay, so do it.
15.
That's it.
6 piercing, 6 divine.
and another one falls apart, and you have 3 left, and they make their way to you. And this one swings his miner's pick right at you, and he gets a 15.
That will miss.
All right. The next one swings at you, and he gets a 12.
Bat it away with my shield.
And the last one sort of 2 hands this thing down on you with an 18. Is that a hit?
I step slightly out of the way, and it thuds into the ground.
Fast on your feet as a rock, and they are there. And you see that
I have a feeling those mining picks do double damage against me now.
they do.
They're made for taking rocks.
They're made for taking rocks apart. It's true. And Jonas, it's you. So you see that Abel moves up, and he just annihilates another big cloud of skeletons, and they continue to move from that tunnel. You now see that the ones that Felipe killed, there's no more coming from that way. They're still coming from the very bottom of the ramp, and they're coming from the thing where Abel is. And they're not slowing down, but you don't hear. It's not as loud. The tromping of skeleton boots that you heard when this whole thing started.
Okay, so from up top, Felipe killed all the ones that were in that room, or at least the ones that were attacking.
Ones that were coming down. Yes,
and then Abel killed a ton, but there are still more coming for Abel.
Yes.
And Abel is how far away now?
Abel is 90 plus 40.
130 feet away?
130 feet away from you.
Man. He's messing with 3 skeletons.
Yeah.
They're paper people. They don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. But I know they can do damage to you. I just
Plug the tunnels.
But I don't know if I can from. Okay.
Aren't you magic? I thought you could do anything.
They're coming from the side of Abel and down the hill.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try this, and it's gonna make you mad. You're not gonna want to help me out. I'm gonna run 40 feet toward Abel, and I'm going to just throw my hands straight out at him. And what I want to do is create a diagonal wall of force blocking the one tunnel to the side, as well as the rest of the tunnel in the back.
Okay. Tell me exactly one more time. I want to make sure I have this clear in my head before I adjudicate, okay?
I want to do a wall of force. It's right. It's practically touching Abel. It may even shunt one of his skeletons to the other side of it.
Uh-huh.
But I want to block the. Gosh, I don't know how much of this you'll give me. It said that I could do it at an angle. It says that I can do 10 by 10 sheets, panels, as long as they touch. What I'd like to do is do a kind of a jagged thing where it's like 10 panel coming that is perpendicular to Abel, then one that's parallel to Abel, then another one that's perpendicular that's right behind Abel, and then let them block the side tunnel and what's behind him so that he can run up to us, but all the other skeletons are blocked. from getting to us.
So you want to block off the tunnel that's uphill from me, as well as block the people coming from downhill of me.
Exactly.
So then he could get to you this way. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll allow it. So the wall of force, what does it look like, John? Is it like glowing or it's
no,
like a...
it's invisible.
Oh, okay.
It's an invisible wall of force.
So it does shunt one of these skeletons out and it just like throws it back. And you see that they continue to run up at you. And you have successfully blocked this thing. Now, how long does this last?
Up to 10 minutes.
Okay. And we're going to be out of initiative. Now, the fight is not over, but we are out of initiative for a bit here. Abel, you see approaching from the very bottom of this mine a giant skeleton. Like he's having to stoop his head like in this 18-foot high tunnel. And he has this club in his hand, and it's clear he's not able to move around with it properly, and he just drops it. And he's got like these troll teeth, and he's got a hunchback, and he's making his way up toward you. And your friends, Filnyr, Ionus, Felipe, is he a friend? It's hard to know. They are crowded up about 130 feet up from you. And you have 45 seconds left.
I mean, if we're not on turns.
Not on turns, yeah.
I think I would be sprinting down to Abel.
Okay.
Shadow of Moyle disappears.
You can't save me. Tempest has given me a short time left to help you.
Are you sure?
And I hike my thumb over my shoulder. And I think I can take him.
Abel, we've come too far together. You can't be serious.
In just a few seconds, this rock body is going to crumble to dust. I'd like to use it as best I can.
Kegaset,
Yes.
Is there anything you know?
I am not a god. That is what I know. He is definitely under the power, control, the divine magic of a god. That is what I can tell.
Briefly, it seems.
It is beyond my power. And then Kegaset says, touch your staff to the sword.
I will.
Okay. And Filnyr, his eyes roll back in his head, and you hear, I don't have long for this, rock brother. Come, let me bless you. And Filnyr, sort of hunchbacked, walks over to Abel and puts his hand on his head and says, I think I can bind you to the mine. That is all I can do. Do you want to be bound to the mine?
What does that mean?
The way I am bound to the sword. Do you want to be bound to the mine?
No.
Very well. Do you want to fight the troll?
I do.
And she releases her hand, and you feel your body is electric. and you can tell that you have the ability to traverse the wall of force whenever you're ready.
Filnyr,
Yes, Abel.
I have a very important question to ask you.
What?
It's the most important thing I've ever asked you in my life.
What is it?
Do you swear yourself to the service and protection of Jonas Silverwind?
I do.
I turn to Jonas. I know you hate what you fight against, but try to love what you fight for even more. And I go across the wall of force.
No, Abel, no.
The wall of force remains up,
Abel.
and you see all the lights continue on Abel. And this horde of skeletons with miner's picks are there. And this giant troll skeleton is moving its way up. And all you can do is watch. And Abel, what do you do?
Filnyr's on his knees.
Come, troll, let me give you your rest, and then I'll take mine. And I do a sunbeam straight up the middle.
All right, give me the roll.
26.
Okay. Every skeleton that's in this ray disappears. It clacks out. And this super weird troll skeleton, you see that he has a single tentacle that sort of grows out from his chin, and it's sort of flapping around as it goes. And he is going to roll his Constitution saving throw. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. He has a really good one of these. 16.
Oh, 16's what he had to get.
Okay. But he still takes 13 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the skeletons sort of descend upon you and begin attacking. And I'm going to roll a d20 to see how many of them hit. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. 4 of them find pay dirt against you, and you are going to take. Well, I mean, we'll see if you have something up your sleeve here. Double this. Oh my God! You take 46 damage from these miner's picks that get double damage on you because you are a rock.
They really do get double damage on me.
You are made of rock.
By the
Okay.
way, you were at full hit points when you were brought back.
Yeah. All right.
And the troll is behind them enough, and he has to sort of dash to get up to you, and he is on you at the end of his turn. And you can see that, like, it's almost like he's got bits of stone hanging from him, and you can see this tentacle is super nasty, and it's actually wrapped around his throat, like almost like something with a tentacle is what killed him in the end, and that skeletal remains on him to this very day, as he has worked in the mine for Dagmoon and now for Brink. It's your turn.
All right. Well, I got to cast one more turn undead.
All right.
Tempest, we're down to the wire. Let's bring it home. Send these poor undead back to the grave.
All right.
DC 16 saving throw or be destroyed. And the troll also has to roll
All right. I'm going to do...
or be turned.
I'm going to do the skeletons first, and we'll do the same thing here. There's only 20 of them left. And... All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Remind me what it is. It's DC 16. So these are all -1. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them survive. They just get eviscerated. The ones that are not. And the troll, wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sam, you got to get the good rolls this time. This has got to be it. And the troll looks at you and goes, whoa, whoa, and turns around and starts running away from you.
He is cowed by my presence.
He is cowed by
to
your
flee.
presence. Yep. Are you going to hit him as he goes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, hitting him does not end the effect.
No,
Is that correct? Okay.
that is correct. 17.
Hits.
10 piercing, 2 divine.
Okay. And the troll, you can tell he's going to continue running away from you. But down here, you now see that you are at the bottom of the mine. There are no more skeletons down here. There's just a dais that is comprised of 2 small throne seats and then a very long table that looks like it was once used by, giants to eat at. So it's a very, very big, long table that sits about 6 feet high on the ground. And standing at the dais is a gray-skinned, human-looking thing with a mask, a helmet on his face that is the shape of an illithid's head. But you have seen this symbol before. You've seen something that looks exactly like this, in fact. This is the symbol that you saw in each of the temples that you have been in. Center of the world, in the Trip God temple, and you even remember this symbol from the sacrificial table in the ruin tower. This is the symbol for Ehi. And you have a troll running away from you.
How far away is this figure wearing the mask at the dais?
It's about 90 feet away from you. 80 feet away from you, actually. Now, yeah.
Does it look like it's doing anything?
It's standing there, and you can tell it's moving enough that it is animated, right? It's like, I'm not saying it's like spell-wise animated. It's animated in the sense that it is moving.
I am going to... So I'm wondering if that is we were assuming that Brink was controlling these undead, but clearly he wasn't because he died and they're still trying to kill us. So is this the thing that is controlling the undead, or is it some other random rando down here? Nah, fuck it. I don't have a lot of time left, and I don't know who you are, and you're in a bad place. I'm going to run up 30 feet, and I'm going to hit it with Sunbeam.
All right.
28 and be blinded on a DC 16 con.
This matters. This matters.
That is a fail.
It's a fail. Your sunbeam streaks out at this thing. And as it hits it, the mask first falls off, and you can see that he falls backwards, and the gravity carries the mask off of his head. And you see it's just this sad looking like human / troll. It's hard to tell. It's like it looks kind of like a troll, but it's clearly a human. Very, very, very old. And the when the mask hits the ground, your sunbeam remains on it. And for just a split second, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. But this Grimlock falls over dead, and the mask disintegrates. And all of the skeletons that were remaining up, including the troll, all of them fall down in piles of bones. And the lights remain on you. And you hear,
You will come home soon.
Tempest?
Yes, my son.
Tell me that wasn't the greatest minute you ever saw.
I've seen many minutes, but not many like that one. I'm very satisfied with you, son. Very, very satisfied. Maybe it has been worth it for me to allow you to live all those years on the mountain. Your fight is over. Let your friends set us free later. Come into the stone with me and drink ale and help me chop down the unworthy that the stone collects.
and the lights move off of Abel, and a small pile of rubble is all that is left, and a spear and a small cut of wood from the tree in the ruined tower.
Fuck.
And Filnyr and Jonas, the cave is yours. The mine is free.
I'm gonna slowly Filnyr's gonna get back off of his knees and make his way over to where Abel fell. And just spend a few minutes trying to wrap his head around all of it.
As you walk towards that, I let down the wall. Just stare in shock down the tunnel where he ran.
This is for a mine. Everything we've been through. And,
Filnyr,
Abel.
Filnyr, Filnyr, I'm sorry. I was too ambitious.
No, Ionus, I don't. This is not your fault. Perhaps we were all too ambitious, but one moment Abel was behind me, and the next he was next to Brink. And I think that was the choice that caused his fate to change.
But this is Abel of Tempest we are talking about.
Yes.
This is not how it happens, is it?
He should have known better. warrior like that. You don't go anywhere without your wizard. I never went anywhere without Kegaset. He should have known better. How does a man get to be that old and still have that kind of pride?
He was a mighty warrior.
Who are you to speak of him? You know nothing of the deeds of this man, this hero. He protected all of us. He saved all of us.
Including you, Felipe. Including you and Kegaset, who sits now in my blade. For you. We will find a way. There must be something that can be done.
He raises his finger to you, Filnyr, and he says, you made the pact with him. You made the promise. You never leave your wizard. And he reaches down at where the backpack is, and he pulls out the stone, and he says, I have seen this foul thing before. Where is the priest Karotica?
We have spoken to Karotica before.
I helped Karotica trap the bastard god Grumsh into this stone. Why does our priest carry this foul stone?
There is a story.
It is hot.
Yes. Well, it has...
Grumsh is cold. Grumsh is not in this stone.
No, he is not.
Grumsh has escaped.
Grumsh has somehow swindled Tempest, and it is Tempest in that stone, and that is why Abel carried it.
It was his charge to put Grumsh back in the stone.
We nearly caught him at water's end, but he got away.
Grumsh is free.
He is. We know what he looks like, or at least what he looked like before he got away.
Well, then I say this to you. Your priest and all who have died before him, they are the lucky ones. And thus ends episode 58 of Every War Must End, the Dungeon Dads podcast.
Oh my God.
Whew.
Fuck.
We have a lot to unpack.
Oh my goodness.
You know how sometimes we say like, oh, I wish we could record the bonuses always like right after we play instead of sometimes we have to wait a while. I'm glad we're going to have to wait a while on this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm a little bit reeling, and
Me too.
I knew this was a real
we all are.
possibility,
Jesus.
and I promised myself that I was going to play it as real as I could with this enemy. And I am so sorry, Sam. I really didn't want to kill you today. I did not want Abel to die.
It's the way it goes sometimes.
How will we have a podcast after this? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it on the bonus,
Yeah.
but you can't ask for a better way to go out than that.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was fucking awesome,
It was
man.
amazing. But we're done, Sam.
All right. Well, if there's ever been a reason to tune into a bonus,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
this is probably it.
Yeah.
But it seems like a weird place to plug Patreon. I mean, it really does. It's really like, if you don't know about it by now, I don't know. Anyway, I guess toodaloo.
Toodaloo, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Chubba